Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we've got a special review impressions of a knife that was gifted to the channel from Addicted to Blades. This is the QSP Variant PE liner lock. Let's take a look. Alright, today we're looking at the QSP Variant PE liner lock. This is in 14C28 and blade steel, titanium handles. It's a sheep's foot blade designed by Jacob Lunquist. All right, QSP is the manufacturer on this. The designer is Jacob Lunquist, and the knife name, well, it's the Variant PE. So we're going to take a look at this knife. Now, the cool thing about this knife was it was given as a gift because Addicted to Blades, this one had an incredibly ridiculous amount of detent. It was so difficult, but I was able to adjust that. So now we have a nice drop action. We can easily front flip. This was next to impossible. I couldn't reverse flick this puppy at all. I couldn't left-handed reverse flick this thing at all. This thing was ridiculously tight. So just in case that ever happens, there's a couple of things you can do. First of all, if you don't know what you're doing, reach out to the vendor, the company you bought it from, see if you can get a replacement, right? That's the first thing I'd recommend. But second of all, if you're a person, you're kind of handy, some of you guys will know what this is. What it usually means is the detent ball is either sitting a little too deep into the channel, or there's a burr or a little too sharp of an edge on the detent hole of the blade. So in here, you'll see there's a little detent ball right in here. And it goes into, and it has to clear over the blade. And then when you hear this little click right here, listen, that's it going into the detent hole. See, there's no blade play. It's in there, very nice and solid, beautifully dead centered and everything. But to get, it's what actually creates the resistance for that flick. So you can get a nice deployment and nice actuation, right? Now, some people like really strong detents for flippers, for fullers, and that's fine. If you're a person who loves ridiculously overpowering detents for a thumb hole, fuller hole, this would have been perfect. But if you're planning to ever use that front flipper, there's just a level where it's just ridiculous, right? So, and it was, this was, I have to say, this is one of the most insane detents I've ever experienced. And so Addicted to Blades, he's absolutely right. So, but I'm grateful. Thank you, Addicted to Blades. We're gonna make this a beautiful giveaway. It is a phenomenal knife. I'm very grateful to you for this. So this is gonna be a really cool giveaway this week. And this is thanks to Addicted to Blades. I'll have his link in my description down below, his Instagram and his YouTube channel, all that good stuff, so you can go check him out. Please do. If you haven't already subscribed, I definitely recommend you go subscribe. I suspect he probably has more people subscribing to him than me. So most of you guys already know about him, but if you don't, in case there's a few out there, go check him out. All right, so this is really cool. 14C28 blade steel. This is a beautiful sheep's foot blade shape. You know, you can call it modified, whatever. If you know, some people might say, well, I mean, it's definitely round. It definitely has a belly. So to me, it's the definition of a sheep's foot. It's got this kind of a sway back, you know, handle, which is when you're meant to kind of cut in. So it, you know, can be kind of used to cut in and stuff like that. Some people are going to enjoy that. Now, the nice thing about that handle, if you're doing like a pull cut, this is a really nice pull cut kind of knife. Especially if you're going through leather, plastic, you know, cardboard, whatever, it'll be really nice for that. There are some other, you know, self-defense sort of applications for a blade shape like this if you're in close combat that law enforcement and military are actually taught. There's some close hand-to-hand kind of combat skills that are used, and this would be a tool that could help them, you know, achieve their goal of self-defense and what have you. Law enforcement and other folks might do that. So there's some benefit from that. I don't think that was the intention here, but certainly something to consider, right? But this is a tool. Ultimately, it's a tool for whose ever hands, whether it's your own hands at home, you're cutting, you know, dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, you're you know, working in the police force, you know, the fire department, you know, EMT, whatever, military. Everything is just a tool to do your job, and this is a good tool. It's a nice tool. It's there's just so many positives about this. So let's talk about the materials. I already told you the blade here is 14C28N, beautiful sheep's foot blade, nice full flat grind all the way to the top. Technically it's not full flat because there's a little bit, you can call that maybe sort of a faux swedge. Does it go in or is it flat? I don't know. Maybe we'll call it a swedge. I don't know. But it's pretty darn close to a full flat grind. It does have a beautiful thin edge down here, nice and sharp. A little bit of a sharpening tool, not much. You know, you'll get a little bit of sharpening out of this. The thumb hole, the fuller, is fairly generous, easy to use, easy to actuate. There's some jimping on top. You can choke up all the way up. So I've got big, large hands with big, meaty fingers. So extra large hands with normal size fingers, double extra large hands with thinner fingers is about where you're going to be. So basically, big, meaty hands, extra large, maybe double extra large. You could probably get your hands all the way on there. I think there's room. Definitely room. It has this cutaway, which is very unique and unique design, which does give you a little lock-in place, so you're not going to slide back and forth here. That is nice. I like doing that, especially when you have this very thin kind of cut angle here. I don't want my hand to slip up and go over the blade. That's no bueno, right? Whether I'm holding it here, I'm holding it here. It's just nice to know that I can lock it in a little bit and keep it in place. Great access to the liner lock. Now, it is a liner lock. I wasn't sure if it was inside. It's a full liner inside the scales. There's some weight relief on the steel liners in there. They're cut out with some holes, so that's nice. Titanium is going to make it nice and light as well. This is a steel clip. We'll verify that. Yeah, steel clip definitely sticks, but titanium and steel liners inside. It is reversible. Right now it's right hand tip up, so you can do left hand tip up. The liner is right hand, but as a lefty, if you're over here, you could still, do your lefty thing right here like this, right? So it's just, instead of being able to push it that way, you're gonna just have to push it this way, right? So there is still very, useful for a left-handed person. The front flipper works well. I did tune this when I fixed it. I did tune it so that now I can do the finger flick, right? I don't know. Can I? Let me see. Can I get it? I don't know if I have enough grip. That's the problem. See, you need some grip, and there's not enough texture on here for that to really get a nice actuation. So I really need to have some better grip. And I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, that's the challenge here. But for me, it's really the challenge. Even if I hold a clip down here, can I? No. It's a very pokey little kind of a thing, so it's hard to get there, and it kind of digs in. But for a front flipper or a knuckle flip, oops, let me get my knuckle on there, it does work. So there is that benefit, right? You can do a left hand knuckle flip as well, and the left hand thumb flick as well, which is nice. And then you can do the reverse flick, then you can do the thumb flick. So all that stuff works really well. So you definitely have multiple actuations, which I like. There's no bonus here. You got the front flipper, you've got the thumb hole, and that's really it. But it works nicely. It's a compact design. Some people are going to love this blade shape, some people aren't, or this handle shape. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's pretty nice. I mean, it seems like it has some real benefits if you're like cutting in this way. You're trying to cut in, right? Like you're trying to do that type of push cut. So maybe it's like a good workhorse knife. It seems like it could be definitely a cardboard shredder, so to speak. 14C28N blade steel is great. I think so. It does have a nice crisp detent still. I didn't remove I didn't take a lot of the detent out, and that just tells you how much detent that was in there. This could still, for my personal taste, I wanted to make it what most people would get out of the box, right? And that's a kind of a crisp detent. You can still make this a little milder. I mean, it works on the front flipper. I would probably soften it just a little bit, because if you're going to give me a front flipper, that to me is the primary, and I want to be able to use that just on the fly all the time, right? So my personal opinion on that. Now, opening, closing, once you fix that, it's nice. It really is. And when it does drop, it drops there. It's not going to be guillotine on my finger. It's not going to chop on the nail. I like that. So it does close. I think I could probably make the action a little more super buttery, drop shutty. I didn't do that on this one. I just wanted to fix it, right? So I'm glad I did. I didn't put skiffs in there. If you wanted to put skiffs in there, this would definitely be a contender for skiffs. It does seem to take some smaller ones, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm 99% sure this knife is on the compatibility chart on Skiff Workshop, right? If you do buy skiffs, don't forget, use RNK10, RNK10, save 10%. I do have a code to help you save on skiffs, cage bearings, or thick washers. They have both. All right, how does it close? The liner lock, great access, easy. It's not super stiff. When I first got it, it was really stiff. It was really hard. So this liner was, man, you really had to push your finger. If you got big meaty fingers, it was uncomfortable. I will tell you, it was uncomfortable. I made it reasonable. It's still a little stiff. Could certainly be softer, my opinion, for what I like if this was to be my knife, but this was given to the channel to give away once I could fix it. And to me, now it's a great knife. I really think so. It's a great knife, and I feel like that I'm blessed and thankful to have a chance to be able to check it out. to review it and just kind of look at this as a budget knife. You know, whether you are a person who uses budget knives for, you know, stuff where you're, you know, ripping and roaring and tearing through stuff and you don't want to destroy a really beautiful knife, or you're giving someone a gift as a first knife, this is a great gift as a first knife. I think this really feels really solid in there. It is dead nut centered. Yep, retained a dead nut center. There was no blade play. I did just Loctite it, so me flicking it, I could see the pivot move a little bit. Unfortunately, no pivot lash. And let's listen to that detent. It's nice and crisp. Yeah, super crispy. One more time. Nice, no detent lash. Really, really great. All right, so opening and closing is fantastic. The blade shape, very functional, very functional. It's got a nice poke tip you can get into dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, cases of water, Amazon boxes, letters. Yeah, it just works great. And that beautiful flat grind's just a nice slicer kind of a thing. All right, let's get a little measurement on this guy. How much does this guy weigh? So it feels like maybe 4.5 ounces. I don't know. Not even close. 3.9 ounces. All right, so 3.9 ounces. Interesting. It felt heavier. I don't know why it felt heavier, but it did. So let's see, where is the center of, okay, yeah, because it's way back here. The center of gravity, center of weight is way back here. So for it to feel a little lighter, you'd be holding it like this, but that's kind of a ridiculous hold. You're gonna be holding it up here. So it does feel back heavy. You know, that sometimes does impact things. It can make, you know, long-term use. All right, so let's see what the length of this, I'm gonna guess about 7. Just a hair under 7 inches. I mean, let's do that again. Are we technically at 7? I think we're 1/32, 1/64 of an inch away from 7 inches. I mean, it's just shy. Okay, overall grip length, you've got about 4. If you go to here all the way to the edge, about 4.25. Like I said, that's why I feel like there's plenty of room on here. It is pretty comfortable for my size hand and larger hands, I think, too. The overall cutting length from the very tip to the back is just a hair under 3 inches. I'm going to say it's 2 and 15/16. The cutting length is going to be 2 3/4. So you know, depending on your knife laws, just be careful, right? If it's under 3 inches, it probably would qualify. Let's look at the blade stock thickness. It doesn't look super thick, but it doesn't look super thin. So I'm going to say 120 thousandths. I don't know. Yeah, right at 118, 119 thousandths of an inch. So it's pretty standard for blade stock thickness, which is not bad. All right, so where does this fall into? My budget category is anything under $100, and this is definitely in that. Right now, QSP lists this as $89, and if you find a discount anywhere, find it somewhere like you go to White Mountain Knives and use RNK10 and save 10%, or if, let's say, BladeBinge Shop has this for sale, you go there and you use RNK10, you could save 10% as well, right? So, and it could be on sale somewhere else, but I'm just telling you that $89, maybe even cheaper. It definitely falls into my budget category. Some people might think there's a different level of budget category. For me, there's budget, and then I kind of sort of have a super budget. That's anything $50 or less, right? This is definitely budget category, under $100. I think it's a very nice, premium, really good quality for a budget. 14C28, one of my favorite budget steels. Titanium scales, a super bonus. Reversible clip, I love that right there on both sides. I really do appreciate that. That's, to me, is definitely a little bit of premium. I love the fact it's a captive pivot. I think that's super awesome. The reversible clip, I said, some great weight relief titaniums, a few nice amenities, a beautiful stone washed finish on the blade. I mean, so to me, there's just a lot of benefits that I think is really nice for what I would consider a budget knife. All right, so purpose, EDC hard use collection piece. You know, anytime it's a budget, I don't really consider it a collection piece, but you can make anything you want a collection piece. It's your collection, right? I think anything that's a budget is, you know, use and abuse and replace. But, you know, collect what you want. It's your collection. You do you, right? You don't listen to me. You collect what you want. That's the joy of a collection. It's what you love, what you treasure. And I have some really cheap things in my collection. My dad's first knife, probably worth nothing. My very first knife I ever bought was my Gerber Easy Out. Still have it. I think it's like a $30 knife. Probably back when I bought it, it was like $15, $20. I don't know. But it's a cheap knife. There's nothing special to it, but I collect it because it was my first knife I ever bought and I got out of high school. So there you go. Those are always fun. You know, things like that are memorable. But this could be the same for you or not. But it is a great budget knife that you can replace, use and abuse. I feel like it's, you know, definitely losing one of these is definitely more bearable than if you had a McNeese, or if you had a Shergoroff, or if you had a Brown Knives, or you had some super fancy custom Edgar and Cole or something like that, right? This is definitely more bearable to lose and replace. So, but it's definitely hard use, and it's definitely EDC for sure. Now, hard use as much as you can do a liner lock. Now it's steel on steel, so it's going to engage really well. It's pretty solid, really feels pretty strong. It's not an axe. It's not a fixed blade. So use the right tool for the right job. If you're out there trying to cut wood, chop blocks, whatever, I'd say use an axe, use a fixed blade. But this will do a great job all day long. If you wanted to work in the yard, cut branches, I mean, this it's solid. It's solid. I think it's a great tool for that. All right, ergos and feel. Beautifully rounded all the way around, very careful to details, not any sharp edges anywhere, including the liner lock here. There's no sharp edges on the clip. I love how it just flips up there. Beautiful room, great access. It is recessed, inset into the actual scale with flat recessed screws. Excuse me. So to me, this is fantastic. Just really, really wonderful way they do this. It's pretty brilliant. It's just well executed. It's just really nice. I feel like you're getting a bang for your buck here. I'll just give you a hint ahead of time. Then it's pretty solid. All right, so opening and closing is great. When I first got it, I was a little trepidatious. But once you fix that detent and it's like what it's supposed to be, this is a pretty solid banger of a knife. It works really nicely. I get it. I get it. It's functional. Now, it's not everybody's cup of tea. The aesthetics may not speak to everybody, but it certainly works. It's a functional, solid tool. Jacob Lunquist did a great job in this design. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so jimping on here, there's some jimping up here. I will tell you that jimping does work. It does lock you in, but it's far back. It's not real far up front. So it's meant to, like, if you're way back here, I guess kind of trying to extend your blade. I mean, to me, my more comfortable grip would be up here, choked up like that. And so I wish the jimping went up a little bit further, but that's just me. Pinch grip, of course, with that, fantastic as far as being able to cut and precision cut, for sure, all that stuff. The clip is nice. I mean, it's steel. I prefer titanium because I tend to bend my steel clips, but for most people at a budget cost, this is fine. This will work great. It does go in and out of the pocket really nice. It does have some nice flexibility. So I mean, as far as the steel clip goes, lanyard, there is no lanyard. I mean, if you really wanted to, let's see, where's the blade? I mean, I guess you could tie something around there and add a lanyard, but there's no lanyard. It's not prioritized. So sorry, lanyard folks. Overall feel, opening, closing, I think it's solid. It does work really nicely. Now I can tune this to be a little better, but this is where I feel like it would come out of the factory. It did have an unusually crazy stiff detent, and Addicted to Blades was absolutely right. This was absurd. So having to fix the detent on here, doing some tricks that I do to actually fix that, doing a little bit of sanding on the hole, the detent hole itself, just to make sure to clear out any possible burrs and stuff like that. All that really worked out well to make this knife really function like it should now. Now it's just really nice. It's crisp. It's beautiful. It works really nicely, and it's what I imagine it was intended to be. So yeah, it's always nice when you can fix something basic like that, and you don't have to send it back and have somebody else fix it. It does look like there's a little dirt on there I didn't get to clear off before we started, so it's bothering me enough that I'm going to clean it now, because I keep seeing it and I keep feeling like you're going to see it. And so let me just put a little bit of cleaning solvent on here. See if that comes off. I don't know if that's worn in from maybe where it was, or if that's, I can't tell if that's part of the, if that's, maybe something that's on the actual titanium scale itself, and it's not going to come off. Maybe it's like a little wear mark or something. I don't know. But this is a giveaway knife, and it was one that was probably sitting in somebody's collection. It looks like it might have been where it was resting. Maybe it was clipped in or something. Oh well. It's for a budget knife, for what you're getting here, as a I think it's cool. This is definitely going to be a giveaway. This will be a giveaway knife. So you'll probably see, this will probably already be given away by the time, it'll either be given away by the time you see this review, or you won't see this review until after I've given it away. One of the two. Obviously, I usually don't time them perfectly on the same day. So, anyways. yeah, I like it. There's a lot of things I like about it. So overall, feel is great. Opening and closing. Access there is nice. It's reasonable. Works great. Like I said, I would tune it a little bit differently, but I did it for what everyone did, not just for me this time around, because I just wanted to get back to where it should be. But it's nice, and I think it's going to break in beautifully. I can already tell you, I don't hate it. It's not uncomfortable. It's easy to work for me. I can get it to drop and everything. And I think if I put skiffs in there, it would absolutely be, you know, a drop shut sort of, maybe even control action close kind of knife. So yeah. Overall fidget factor. The front flipper, the thumb holds work great. They work great. You can do the front flip. You can do the knuckle flip. I don't have any bonus. That's never a bonus for me because I usually my fingers are too short to do that. Probably longer fingers could do it. The reverse flick, everything works great, both left and right-handed, really, really solidly. So I'm going to give this a solid 5. This gets a 5 because it has 2 major deployment methods that work well. I don't have any issues with them. Perfectly jimping. It's not overly aggressive. It goes all the way to the top. It's easy to access. I can do the knuckle, the finger flip. All that stuff works really, really nice. So definitely a solid 5 on the fidget factor. Now, a fidgety goodness for being a budget knife. 89 bucks, probably cheaper if you get the 10% discount at White Mountain Knives if they have it in stock. This is really, really nice. I'm going to give it 100. For an $89 knife, this executes flawlessly. It really does. Now, it's not necessarily my aesthetic, I will tell you that. I don't always look at this knife. This is a little unique for me, you're right. You know, I'm not with the sway back on the scale. That doesn't call out to me. It feels a little awkward in my hand because I got a big old meaty hand right there and it kind of digs into it. I'd have to hold it up here where it's like in here, maybe like that's what the intention is, where this goes into my hand, kind of a push out, but then it's like almost like a 3.5 finger. It's not my cup of tea. I would be up here and that digs in. But I'm telling you, it's definitely fidgety goodness is 100. It really works. It works well, even for my big old meaty fingers, which I like, man. It really feels like it's very doable, right? So it's 100% recommended. 100% recommended. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you guys had this knife or you own this knife, what is your experience with it? Is it a favorite? Is it just something you use? Is it a beat up knife? Maybe it's a beater knife that you love to use to work in the yard. I'll tell you, my 80-20.5, my Entry Demco 20.5 with the titanium scales, I use it for a lot of yard work and stuff like that. I used to use my McNeese a lot, but I sold that recently because I got a really fancy McNeese. So the other one was my Neutron. I used to use that as well as a lot. So my 80-20.5 is probably my kind of beat up budget kind of a knife. And this feels like this could be really that for a lot of folks. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? Hey, and if you've already hit that like button, would you also please consider hitting the subscribe button? Because subscribing and liking the channel, it really helps me out. It allows me to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you to everyone out there who watches the videos, the content, the live streams, who's part of the community. I really do appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Thank you. And if you haven't already, also consider hitting that notification button as well so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys. You do 2 amazing things. You encourage me. I don't do this full time. I'm part time. So I appreciate you guys when you encourage me. Big, huge thank you. The other thing, because you're so generous with your memberships, I'm able to do things way sooner than I ever thought I could. For instance, I'm able to check out knives that people loan me. I can cover the shipping. That gets expensive. It really does. I'm able to do the weekly, once a week, weekly giveaways, the budget bangers. Like here's this one, but that's thanks to Addicted to Blades this week. But a lot of times you guys have a big hand in all the extra swag, extra things I throw in there. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for being members and supporting the channel. I'm very humbled by you guys, and I'm very, very grateful to every one of you guys out there. All right. So those 2 things you do. As my token, my way to say thank you, I do 2 exclusive things for members. I do a once a month members exclusive giveaway. It's definitely better than a budget banger, right? Every week we do a budget banger kind of giveaway for everybody, but then once a month I do a members exclusive giveaway. Something that's definitely over $100. Try to between $100 and $300. Something cool for you guys. Either you would love to get for yourself or give as a gift, right? So that's my hope, is for the members to give something really nice like that away. The other thing I do is, all brand new channel members, I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a little thank you note and a way for me to say thank you. So if you email me with your name and address, I will mail you a little channel sticker and a thank you note. That's what I do. And so that really gets extended to anybody who is, who's never gotten a channel sticker, never asked for one. But if you're currently a member right now, actively, you've been a member all along, or were a member, became a member again, and you never asked. You may not be a new member, right? But you never got a channel sticker, you never asked for one. Email me with your name and address as well. I'd love to mail you that channel sticker. Hey, and if any of that sounds really cool, like, hey, I'd like to become a channel member, I'd just like to support your channel. Thank you. Maybe you're like, oh, I really dig those stickers. I'd like to get a sticker. Thank you. I'm glad to send you one. Or maybe you're like, hey, I want to get in those giveaways. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want anybody ever to feel obligated to be a member, but do it if you want to, right? And if you do, check out the description down below. I have a link for 3 different tiers of memberships. I would be honored. I'd be blown away and grateful for any of those memberships. But please, please don't ever feel obligated. Do it because you want to. And if you do, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. All right, if you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.